What is going on YouTube? But Great Blades here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Demko AD20.5. This was the first run that they did. So this is the one in OS 10A. But we'll start with a measurement on the overall size. So looking at about 7.4 inches here with a 3-inch blade and about 2.8, maybe 2.85 inches of cutting edge there. The blade stock thickness here, looking at about 120 thousandths. So, you know, reasonably thin, but nothing too crazy. It's also not thick though. Do a measurement on the weight, and this one here, just before I measure it, this one does have different scales on it. Originally, these come in the, the sort of plasticky, you know, FRN type material. I think they call it Grivery, whatever. But so it is normally lighter, I will mention. But I took those off because I did not like them, and I got some original goat scales. This was many years ago when original goat was still a very new name in the scene for aftermarket scales and things like that. But I knew one of the guys who worked for them through Metal Complex's Discord channel, and so I just decided to check them out, you know. And yeah, this was many years ago, like 2021. Yeah, that sounds about right. Anyway, sorry. So this will weigh differently, is what I was saying, than the stock one, because these are aluminum, and then I also have the back spacer on here. But flip it over, actually. So we're looking at about a 3.9 ounces, so just under 4 ounces, which again, for aluminum and steel, not too bad, I would say. Do a size comparison with the QSP Penguin and the Demko 20.5 with original goat scales. So as you can see, they're going to be exactly the same length as the other 20.5 and a little bit bigger than the QSP Penguin. This one obviously does have different blade length, because this one is the newer one, the big pivot with the 20 CV. This one's the slicer, so a little bit different grind on it, a little bit different finish on it as well, actually. But because the blade shape, this one does have a little bit more blade length on it. Obviously, that was a little bit of a joke here. Obviously, they're going to be the same length because they're the same size, but we'll do a comparison with another knife here. What do I have? We'll do this one, sure. We'll do the Hogue Deca, which also has original goat scales on it. So it's actually also pretty similar to the Hogue Deca in terms of overall length, maybe just a hair longer, but again, you get way more blade length and a smaller handle on the Hogue Deca. We'll do a comparison on the carry profile here. So compared to the Hogue Deca, these ones actually have very thin scales, because these ones, the original ones, I believe still use the liner, if I recall. It's been a long time since I've taken this apart. I think the original ones still used the liner, or maybe they did a liner delete. I'll have to check that, but anyways, they are very thin scales. So it is thinner than even something like the Hogue Deca, which is already a pretty thin knife. And then compared to the QSP Penguin, it is also still thinner than that even. So it is a very, very thin knife. In fact, I kind of want to measure the thickness here. Not including the pivot, because the pivot does stick out just a little bit on these older 20.5s, but not including that, it's only about, just under half an inch, so that's pretty thin, I would say, sorry, excuse me. But yeah, like I said, these ones, I have the original goat scales on it, aluminum. I had them Cerakoted. This is their pineapple texture, I believe they call it. Basically frag pattern. So I had that Cerakoted red. I believe this is called brick red or something like that. And then I got their backspacer that they had, also aluminum, just kind of slots in there. And that one I had Cerakoted black, armor black, I believe. And yeah, I really liked the way this build came out. This was the first time, obviously, like I said, that I had customized the 20.5. And this was, I mean, there were a couple other companies, I think. I think Flightanium had done some at this point, and maybe a few others. Maybe, why can I not think of the name? RGT and Aught. Maybe they had already done some at this point, or maybe it was still too early, but Original Goat, they were much, much cheaper in terms of price than the Flightanium scales, partly because they had started with aluminum instead of titanium, but I think even then they have now since done titanium and brass and other materials as well, but I still think even then their prices are lower than Flightanium. They are a smaller company, just a couple, maybe only a few dozen employees, maybe even less than that. I actually don't know at the moment how many people they employ, but they are USA made. They're made in Florida, and yeah, they do them all in-house, so that's pretty cool. They even do the Cerakoting in-house, I believe. They have a Cerakote guy. But yeah, I just kind of took a chance on them, and they are amazing. I mean, they fit perfectly. They, I had no issues with them. The only issue was just because the way that the shark lock works here, there's a spring on the inside, right here. So you just have to be careful when you take that apart, because it's under tension, so it will fly out, which you have to be careful of. So you just kind of cover it with your hand, or use like a Tupperware container or something while you take it apart. That way the spring doesn't go flying and you have to lose it and you cry. Not that I speak from experience, of course. I did it perfectly, flawlessly the first time. Definitely in no part to me watching, Nick Shabazz take it apart first and other videos. Definitely not. I'm just a genius when it comes to taking apart knives. I've never taken apart before. But it really wasn't that bad, truthfully. And even when I did it with the second one here, it really wasn't that bad. It didn't take me that long. I think it took me much longer to do the kind of able lock that Hogue has here. I hate taking apart Axis style knives. I don't know what it is about me, or maybe about the way they're designed. I hate them. Anyways, sidetracked a little bit there. So this one is the shark's foot, or the kind of like the sheep's foot blade, since I don't think shark have feet. I mean, they have fins. I don't think they have feet. So Demko brothers, John and Andrew, I don't know what that's about. I'm no marine biologist, but I don't think shark have feet. Anyways, so they did also have a clip point version, and when I bought this in 2021, I did actually buy both versions. I bought both blade shapes that they have, the shark foot and the clip point, but I ended up selling the clip point one. I kind of liked the sheep's foot one better. I don't know why. Also, just the action on this one when I got it right out of the box was a little bit better. I'm sure it would have broken in over time, but I didn't really need both of them. But of course now I have this one, so maybe I should have kept it, but that's okay. So these are made in Taiwan, if you can see here. Hold on. Taiwan. So this is, of course, the sort of more budget version of the custom Demko AD20, which is the bigger. It's also the bigger one, so it's smaller and it's the more budget friendly option. So that's kind of why they made that, and that's also why it's not made in the USA, just because if they did, even if they did the same exact materials, the, FRN AS10A, was it AS10A? Maybe it was AS8. I'm just realizing. No, it is AS10, okay. If they did the same materials, it still would have been like a $200 or $250 knife if it was made in the USA completely. But it's not, which is nice. I know a lot of people at the time were pretty hesitant of it, but whichever company John and Andrew had OEM this in Taiwan, they did a great job. Fit and finish were perfect, perfectly centered. The blades were nicely ground and finished and things like that. Yeah, I have no problem with that. But that does, of course, make it a little bit more expensive. Just a little bit. Taiwan, of course, is not the same as China, even given their close proximity. They are different in terms of their manufacturing and their cost of manufacturing. It is a little bit different, but I'm sure there was some reason that John and Andrew decided to do Taiwan instead of China, even regardless of price, maybe just quality or other things, I don't know the behind the scenes, so I can't say for sure. But regardless, it did turn out really well. So these were $150, give or take, back in 2021 when they first came out. I think now, specifically the old small pivot AS10A versions, I think now they tend to go for $120 to $130-ish, They're a little bit less now because they have so many different versions of this out now. They have the S35 one, they have the 20CV one, they have, I think, I can't think right now. I think they have many variants is the point, different scale materials, G10, the peel ply, or sorry, not the peel ply, the FRN Grivery stuff, Grivery, whatever, carbon fiber, titanium. They had ones that came in titanium for more money. 3V, that was the other blade steel they had. So, they have many options, stonewash, satin, DLC, different colors, things like that. So you definitely have options. And like I said, of course, you can always add some custom original goat scales on to really, really, customize them. And they have different patterns too. I can link them down below. I think I said that already, but I'll link them down below. And you can take a look because they do have other new scales, like milling patterns that they've released even since, which is really cool. Did I mention? I can't remember. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not running on a lot of sleep. But it is flat ground. The other one here, I'm not going to do a separate video for them, truthfully, because they are pretty similar. But the 20.5 here, this is the slicer. It is a hollow grind on this one. It is ground differently, so it's a little bit thinner. They have the sort of, I believe they call it the peanut hole, so a little bit different blade shape, but truthfully, they're about the same, in terms of fit and finish and quality and things like that. So I'm not going to do a separate video on them, but they are a little bit different. I just don't think it's not really worth reviewing both of them for two separate videos because they're more or less the same. This one's just newer. That's it. But and more expensive. But they're the same. Both shark locks. There is a similar lock. I think they just kind of happened to design them at the same time, and they both have just kind of more or less kind of said, you know, like, we came up with these at the same time independently. They're similar, but not exactly the same, so, you know, we'll kind of let both of us, you know, make them just under different names and things like that. There's also the Snex lock, which is very, very similar as well, functionally speaking anyways. But they're, again, I just want to make clear, they're not copies of one or another, you know. I think they just kind of both reached the same conclusion slightly differently, but similar style lock, you know. But yeah, I don't have a Snex lock to compare it to, but that's not the point of this video. Sorry, excuse me. Anyways, what was I gonna say? The clip is left and right hand carry mountable, and it does come with a left-handed clip because it is differently contoured. Because the shape of the handle there, and they do include that when you buy it, which is nice. I appreciate that. Even though I'm not left-handed, you know, the 10% of you or so that out there that are, worry not. They thought about you, and they do bring you a left-handed mounted clip. You can also buy clips from like Lynch clips and stuff like that if you want a different clip. This one's, you know, about 75% of the blade. Could be a little bit shorter, but truthfully it doesn't really bother me. And it works well enough. I haven't had really any issues with it, so I think that's fine. I don't think I have anything more to say, really, truthfully. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, because I will be making more videos, of course. And let me know down below what you think. Did you pick up the original Shark Lock when it came out, you know, 4 years ago, just about now? Did you wait till later? What do you think of it? You know, how many do you have? I have just these two, but I have been tempted before to get more and put other scales on them, like titanium, carbon fiber, things like that. But maybe in the future. And then, of course, I do want the full-size American-made AD20. That would be very cool, but they're so expensive, you know, $600, $650, I think. And they're also hard to get sometimes because they don't do big batches of them. They're usually gone pretty quick. Anyways, I think that's going to be pretty much it, though. I will see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.